everyone, and welcome back to the Armenian News Network, the latest news about Armenia and Armenians all over the world in English. Today we will talk about the large influx of Russians to Armenia, the recent situation on the Armenian-Azerbaijani border where an Armenian soldier died, and the condemnation of the Armenian prisoners of war. Thousands of Russians and Ukrainians have come to Armenia, some trying to relocate their businesses from which Armenia can reap great benefits, some fleeing the war. Up to 30 or more planes of Russian airlines have been landing at Yerevan Airport in recent days. However, not only people but also Russian-Ukrainian companies are moving to Armenia. This was also confirmed by the Minister of Economy, Kerkorian, who says that dozens, if not hundreds of companies have already submitted applications to move their business to Armenia. Some of them are already in the country and the registration process continues. Most of them are Russian, Belarusian companies that avoid sanctions against their countries, mainly IT companies that can work with Armenia and the United States and Europe. There is a large number of people who are dissatisfied with that fact, believing that it will result in stagnation of work in the field. The interest to move to Armenia is not only by the organizations, but also by Russian citizens who work online, since they feel there is no language barrier, with Russian being common in Armenia. However, local experts believe this is a temporary phenomenon. They are unlikely to stay here for long. Who will say how long this conflict will go and what the end will be? Regarding the impact of the Russian-Ukrainian war on the Russian military base in Gyumri, the danger coming from Turkey is more hypothetical and more theoretical at the moment. Edward Agajanian, chairman of the Standing Committee on Foreign Relations of the parliament member of the ruling Civil Contract faction, said this on March 7th at the briefing of the National Assembly. The journalist in particular inquired whether, in the context of Russia's actions in Ukraine, NATO member Turkey could take several actions against the Russian military base located in Gyumri. According to the parliamentarian, there are always such dangers. Although I consider such a scenario hypothetically possible, but at the moment it is unlikely, I would not connect it with the current Russian-Ukrainian crisis. Well, at least now, said Agajanian on the topic of the border situation. Today, on March 7th, around 12:40 p.m., the units of the Azerbaijani armed forces opened fire on the Armenian military positions located in the western part of the Armenian-Azerbaijani border, as a result of which 2 servicemen of the RA armed forces received gunshot wounds. Sergeant Hrach Arami Mansarian, a contract soldier of the North Military Unit of the RA Military Defense, died on the way to the hospital. Earlier today, the Ministry of Defense of Azerbaijan once again spread misinformation, claiming that the units of the RA armed forces opened fire in the direction of the Azerbaijani military positions located in the eastern part of the Armenian-Azerbaijani border. The situation on the Armenian-Azerbaijani border is relatively stable. It is under the full control of the RA armed forces. The Ministry of Defense of the Republic of Armenia shares the grief of the loss, expresses support to the family members, relatives, and colleagues of the deceased soldier. The life on the other wounded soldier is not in danger. In fact, in recent days, the Azerbaijani armed forces have regularly violated the ceasefire, in which the mentioned areas about relevant information has been provided to the Russian peacekeeping command. Also on March 4th, Azeris fired in the direction of the village of North Shen, then announced over a loudspeaker that the villagers had to leave the area, otherwise they would do it by force. Immediately after the incident, the villagers turned to the head of the administration. The peacekeepers came very quickly. They were able to calm down the situation, but the agricultural work could not be continued. It was stopped. Moving to the situation in Karmort. It should be mentioned that a few days ago, the enemy had forbidden the villagers to carry out agricultural work in Karmort village with the same handwriting. The incident was settled as a result of the intervention of peacekeepers. This was reported by the Prosecutor's General Office of the Artsakh Republic. In the report, it is said, in recent days, the Azerbaijani armed forces have been carrying out provocative, intense actions in the positions adjacent to the Karmort community of the Astrakhan region of the Artsakh Republic. An attempt is made to disrupt the normal life of the village, the course of agricultural work, the organization, the daily life of the village. The situation calmed down due to the operative response of the Russian peacekeeping forces. Referring to the topic of prisoners of war, the Ganzak Serious Crimes Court of Azerbaijan has read the verdict in the case of two Armenian prisoners of war, Ishkan Sargsyan and Vladimir Rafelian, on false charges of terrorism. By the system of the judicial board, Ishkan Sargsyan was sentenced to 19 years and Vladimir Rafelian to 18 years in prison. The verdict says that they will spend 9 years in prison and the rest of the term in a strict regime colony. These soldiers were taken prisoner in 2021 during the invasion of Armenia by the Azerbaijani armed forces in May. They are accused of illegally crossing the border of Azerbaijan in May last year and mining the supply routes of the Azerbaijani Defense Ministry units, passing through the territory of the Karvachar region. Besides, the accusing party claims that the Sargsyan allegedly confessed to the order to blow up the Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan gas pipeline. The U.S. congressman called for the release of Armenian prisoners of war and captive civilians. In his speech, he said, "Today, the Azerbaijani aggression against the people of Armenia and Artsakh continues. Armenian soldiers continue to be illegally arrested and tortured, while thousands of civilians are in danger. We must not stop calling for the safe and unconditional release of the remaining Armenian prisoners of war, the captive civilians, the cessation of U.S. assistance to the Ali regime, and to greater efforts to support democracy in Armenia, a free, independent Artsakh." We have come to the end of today's video. If you like what you saw and want to see more, hit like and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.